snow this morning. I was at the beach in the sunshine in Newport yesterday.
Rude awakening.
I know,
I'm
right?
definitely hoping it would at least like melt quickly, but
Got to sticking around a little bit.
yeah.
And we had no power this morning.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's when you take a cup of water and you go,
Yep.
You didn't warm it up over a camp stove?
there would have been an idea. If I had a camp stove, I would have made coffee.
So we need a few more people.
Yeah. Did you hear back from Sean, Mary?
I did not.
Okay. So Leo's away.
And Jeff's away.
Yeah, I saw a note from Jeff this afternoon.
Hi, Joe. Oh.
We have plenty of applicants in the queue.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. So Caitlin, you were away, right? Didn't you go to like South America or something?
I missed the last two. I was in Belize and then I was in, which was for fun. I was scuba diving and then I was in
Yeah.
San Diego for work.
Nice. My sister and family went to Belize a while ago. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and part of it was to expose their kids to a different culture. And I guess the official language in Belize is English.
Yeah. There's a lot of Creole though. So
Yeah. Yeah, so everybody spoke English. I saw lots of army ants, I guess.
So should we get Brooks or it's Brooks and Sean? They already, so you don't know if Sean's coming?
I didn't hear back from Sean. I can text.
I guess you
Jeff.
got 4. So we could get started. Bare bones. Why don't we do that? We can get started on things. Is that okay?
I only have, oh, there we go. There's Brooks.
Ah, good.
So I can text Jeff if we need him, but you know, 4 is a quorum.
Well, we
I
got 5.
I heard you talking about me. I just wasn't, I was just laying low. I was in the bushes.
Hi, Brooks. Welcome. Well, we got 5 of us, so we're
So who's 5? I'm counting Caitlin, you, Chase, and Brooke.
Yeah, that's 4 from my, he's Joseph's new, so you keep looking at,
oh, that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Staff.
You're
He's
part
just
of the
like
staff
Landry.
now. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh. So we're 4. Well,
4 works.
4 works. And we don't know if the only other person out there is Sean, right?
I didn't hear anything
Or
from AJ.
What about
AJ.
AJ? No word from AJ?
No.
Okay, well, we'll start and see where all this goes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is, it's always so odd starting without cameras, without anything. It's sort of like, what's the difference? But I guess now we're officially starting. This is the beginning of the meeting. This is the Development Review Board for Burlington for April 19th. And assume there's people who are people from the public or applicants who are watching this, and that we take up items that they are in the agenda. And when we call each item, we ask people who are going to either be applicants or want to speak on the application to identify yourselves, raise your hand or indicate, and Scott will admit you to the meeting. And as appropriate, people will get sworn in if needed. So that's our introduction. And there's no communications because everything's online at this point. And I believe we have minutes from the last meeting that were posted. So if anybody has any comments, let me know. With that, we have the first item, which is consent for 129 Spruce Street. Is the applicant here?
Yep, we have Nate Yeager. So Nate, you're able to speak.
Hello, Nate.
Hello.
So this is on the agenda as a consent item, which means if you're okay with the recommendations from the staff, this is recommended for approval. Were you okay with what the comments were from staff?
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay. Is there anybody on the board who objects to treating this one as a consent item? No. Is anybody here in the public for this one, Scott?
If anyone would like to speak to 129 Spruce Street, raise your hand now. Nope, just the applicant.
Okay. Does somebody on the board want to make a motion on this one?
I'll make a motion, Brad.
Thank you.
So on ZP 22-109-129 Spruce Street, I move that we approve the application and adopt staff findings and recommendations.
Okay.
Caitlin seconds. Any discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous. Okay, Nate, you're good to go.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jeff wasn't kidding when he had the DRB&B as our.
Yeah.
You're here. Next item, public hearing for 325 Flynn Avenue. And is the applicant here for that one?
Yes, we have the applicant Kathleen.
Okay.
Yes, hi.
And is there anybody from the public who wants to speak on this one?
If you'd like to speak, raise your hand. Nope, just the applicant.
Okay. So Kathleen, would you raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth and whole truth under pain and penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay. And I am trying to remember which one this is that that you are. I think there was something about the parking that you need to allow movement if you're parked in tandem. Am I right about that? Yeah.
But you can park 4 cars that can move independently. So I don't know what that issue is about.
Well, I guess I'm trying to understand your site plan to some extent. I can get back to that.
Yeah, you see where the tree is? A little further up the tree.
Yep.
See the tree? Well, 2 cars park in front of the tree, like parallel kind of parking, and then 2 in front of the garage. So people can come and go as they please. You don't have to shuffle cars whatsoever. Never have.
I thought the width of the driveway was listed. Look at your site. Oh, you don't have width on the driveway, so it's hard to know, right?
I don't have a width on the driveway. Well,
Oh,
it's
20
kind of-
feet at the garage.
it was 19 wide.
I see.
Let me see. I don't know if I had that with me. I tried to do this in person, but I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to be. That's why I'm on Zoom. Yeah, it's 20 feet wide. It's down the bottom of the sketch. Way down the bottom. See?
Yeah. Or it's on the bottom of the sketch or up by the garage. I thought it was near the garage.
Well, I mean, it's also at the, oh yeah, there. Oh yeah, you're right. It was so long. Let me see what I did. Yeah, it was up by the garage. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I didn't put it at the bottom. Sorry about that. But you see, it's actually wider at the bottom. And And I forgot to put the scale on it as well. Every square is 2 feet.
Oh,
Sorry about that. I'm bad. I mean, really, I'm not really good at sketching. So yeah, every square is 2 feet exactly.
I see.
So, right.
So Brad, we did
12.
not have an approved site plan on file. That's why I included an aerial image to show how long the driveway is in existing condition.
So if they can park, wasn't there some question about whether they were in tandem or not for the apartment? Am I right, Mary?
Well, it's this allowance about when stacked parking is allowed and when tandem parking is allowed. You know, by previous review, we've seen that there has to be somebody there to move cars.
Okay.
No, not in this driveway.
Well, but doesn't somebody have to be there? Because if you've got your guest and you have somebody behind them, somebody's gonna move a car for them to get out.
No,
I think if
they-
we look at the plan, it looks like
Yeah.
you can, there's 2 cars that park in front of the garage, and then on the
Correct.
side of the driveway, you can park 2 cars in tandem that can each independently get out
That's
without
correct.
blocking each other in.
right,
It's
yeah.
parallel, not tandem
Correct,
functionally.
right.
If we look at the staff report, I think that photo helps make it a bit clearer.
If there are no changes proposed to existing conditions, this is an extremely long driveway that required 2 pieces of paper for her to draw her site plan on.
I see that.
Yeah, there's very long, very,
Okay.
very long.
Well, that was the only thing I was trying to understand. Any other questions from the board for the applicant on this? No. Okay. If there are no other questions, I'm going to close the public hearing on this. Okay. Thank you, Kathleen. We'll probably deliberate at the end of our meeting today.
Very good. So I'm all set.
You're all set.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Next one is 84 Chase Street. Is the applicant here for this one?
I expect Colleen is a telephone number, Scott. Colleen, can you raise your hand?
Well, do you know if Colleen has a 617 or an 802?
I don't know. What are the,
All right,
what
to
are
raise
the,
your hand with the phone, it's *9, right? So press *9 if you're Colleen. Or I can just let both phone numbers talk. I'm gonna let both phone numbers talk. How about we do that?
Well, we don't know what application they're on, right?
No,
oh,
we
here's
don't.
someone. Okay,
So if you're on 617, you can speak.
You're muted though at the
it's
moment.
muted.
So I'm gonna ask the 802.
Hi.
Oh.
Hi, Scott. This is Jim Langan. I'm not here for this one. I'm the 617 number.
Okay, great.
So must be 802.
Come back.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. And who are we speaking to now?
We are the Comos. We're in the agenda later on, but we just were cued that we could unmute, so we did.
Okay.
We're just looking for an applicant.
So right now we're going to assume that 84 Chase Street is not here. Colleen Hartford is not part of the meeting. We'll come back to that later in the meeting. Okay.
Yep.
And we'll go on to next agenda item is 43 Starr Farm Road. Is the applicant here for that?
Yep. So I think that's Alicia. So who else is with you here, Alicia, tonight?
I should have Michael Cope from the CEA group. I think Jim Langdon indicated he was here as well.
Yep.
I also may have Sandy Tebow from CAPMA available as well. And Jeremy Owens from the landscaping design.
Okay, so all of the above can speak now.
Okay, so all of the above, I need to swear you in, and if you would tell the whole truth under pain and penalty of perjury, do you agree?
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Okay. And is the 617 area code still part of this hearing, Scott?
Yes, yeah, I think that's Jim Langdon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, Alicia, do you want to make a presentation on this?
Sure. I think you have our information ahead of you. This stems back quite a long way, back to 2018, when it does. We've been working on this for a little bit. So it stems back from 2018, when the no parking ban was instituted along Starr Farm Road for safety purposes due to the Flynn school. And when that occurred, it caused an influx of cars to make their way back into the Birchwood parking lot. And we quickly realized that there was not adequate parking to accommodate all of the additional street parking, folks that were parking on a street. And so really what that led to was the identification that the lot was zoned for 40 some odd spaces, which certainly is not adequate enough to not only operate, but also allow for visitation of the folks that reside in the facility. Now, our facility is licensed for 160 beds. We typically average about 140 residents there on a daily basis. And so between the employees that it takes to be able to provide not only an adequate level of care, but also the federal mandated and state mandated minimum levels of care, we also average about 70 visitors a day. And so we had a parking study, which I believe is part of this packet, that indicated that we need roughly 100 spaces in order to adequately be able to manage the flow of traffic into the facility. Last year, or excuse me, 2019, we were able to work with the city to increase the parking an additional 20 some odd spaces, and we're coming back with the hopes to increase the additional, I believe it's 23 spaces to accommodate a total capacity of 98.
And you have a parking management plan as part of the application too, right?
That is correct. We're working with CAPMA.
Okay. And part of this, I think, is a result of zoning change too. Is that right? Is this your application, Scott?
Yeah. Is it part of the requirement for TDM is part of the current Article 8 requirements to seek a maximum waiver?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going back. Can you? Yeah, and then the shade trees are also part of the requirement that you're meeting here too, right? With the landscaping.
Yeah, they have
That's
shade
correct.
trees.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to ask if there's any questions from the board on this application. I guess we're going to Have you, I'm curious, Alicia, have you put into practice some of these aspects of the demand management plan already?
Yes, we have the bike parking already. And, you know, one of the things that we identified is we already have about 27% of our workforce that takes alternate means of transportation to work, which already exceeds the amount that the city hopes that we do. So I think part of the dilemma here, in addition to that, is that we have so many visitors that come on a daily basis that it's very difficult to account for visitor traffic in a TDM plan. So in addition to the percentage of employees that we already have that utilize alternate means of transportation, it's greater than that, because the amount of resident visitors that I have to allow and require also create some challenges. And, you know, certainly we want to be able to comply, but there is also the human aspect of, you know, if we call you to tell you that your loved one is dying and we're asking you to come to say your goodbyes, that you have a place to park versus circling a lot, you know, for 5-10 minutes trying to wait for some parking space to vacate.
Yeah, and I guess that's one of the dilemmas, because your plan doesn't really address the needs of the visitors, right? It's really trying to deal with staff, right? Isn't that right about that?
So Brad,
It's very-
Cindy Tebow has her hand
Well,
up.
it's very difficult. I actually have. Oh, super. Thank you.
Sandy, did you want to have something to contribute on that?
Oh, sure. So hi, Sandy Tebow, Executive Director at CATMA, the Chittenden Area TMA. I think everyone is familiar with CATMA. We have been communicating with Alicia and the Birchwood team, and really excited about them joining CATMA. They have similar challenges that are faced at one of our founding institutions, the UVM Medical Center, where you have employees and staffs and visitors. And so the goal is for us to continue to build on the great work that Birchwood has done with encouraging employees to use sustainable modes, and get more employees to use sustainable modes to, you know, free up those visitor spaces. I do think there are opportunities to increase carpool and van pools for Birchwood based on our experience with members, and there is an opportunity to increase use of Guaranteed Ride Home program. And I think what CATMA is going to provide Birchwood is a robust education and outreach program to keep their employees engaged and aware of what transportation options are available to them. And there's also microtransit. The state, actually the legislature right now is investing, I think $1 million proposed in microtransit, where that microtransit is like an on-demand shuttle service, and it works good in rural communities, but we're hoping to pilot a program here in Chittenden County. So potentially Birchwood employees could participate in that. So yeah, I'm really excited about working with them. And, you know, one of the first steps we'll do is conduct an employees transportation survey to have that baseline data on Birchwood employees, mode trends, their travel behavior that we can then it'll inform us to implement new programs, enhance our education to their employees. So kind of a long story on that visitor question, but it is similar to the medical center type of client on a smaller scale.
And that micro transit you mentioned, that's not something the public would take advantage of.
It could be. Right now it's geared towards employees. There's a program called My Ride in Montpelier that's going on right now, where they people, request a shuttle and they meet at a specific location and then it brings them into Montpelier. And so it's really trying to serve those areas where fixed route service, is not available. So really, CATMA, on behalf of our membership, really will be working closely with Go Vermont and trying to get a pilot microtransit program here in Chittenden County.
Good.
My name's Eric Wygon. If I can piggyback on that a little bit, I'm a traffic engineer and an author of the TDM plan that was submitted, just to add that context. I missed the taking the oath part. I don't know if you want me to take that oath now, but I definitely, I agree to
right now, Erica.
be honest and full truth, that business.
Erica,
So
Erica,
yeah.
Can you hear me? I was
Yes.
saying, I swear you in right now. So do you swear to tell the truth and whole truth under pain and penalty of perjury?
I do.
There you go. Okay.
Great. So you're right that a lot of the explicit things that were outlined in the TDM plan are geared around employees, and that has to do with the ability to kind of communicate and serve a kind of dedicated population where Alicia has regular contact with the employees. She can do that education, working with CATMA. The incentives and policies are easier to target to employees, but there's a lot about Birchwood that is accessible for visitors using non-SOV modes, non-single occupant modes. So it's on transit, it's within the Uber and Lyft service area. There's good bike access, it's on the sidewalk network. It's within the Green Ride bike share. There's a lot of other ways that visitors can also get to the facility. There's bike parking out front for them. So even though a lot of the new and kind of existing policies are really targeting the employee population, the infrastructure itself and the location of the facility allow visitors also to access without just driving themselves.
Good. It's helpful. Sandy, did you have something you're adding to the?
Just really quick on the Green Ride bike share. CATMA is one of the agreement holders with the bike share vendor Bolt. And we are developing an expansion plan where we're going to expand the fleet to 200 e-bikes and with virtual hubs to be established. And I could see potentially a virtual hub in the Birchwood area with some of the neighborhoods and other, businesses and schools in that area. So something we would want to put a plug in for.
Okay, thank you. I think that's most of my question had to do with that, and I see the landscaping is addressing the shading requirements pretty clearly. Any questions from the board for the applicant on this one? No. Okay. Anything? I know it's been a few fits and starts to get here, but you had an advantage of the zoning change, so that helped in the end here. Anything else you want to add, Alicia?
No, I really appreciate all the time and effort the city has put into working with us on trying to come up with a solution to the situation. And again, I think that the proposed zoning changes that actually had went through, it's not just doesn't just impact Birchwood, it impacts all senior living communities, which I think is very important considering the landscape of nursing care has changed so greatly over the last 50 years.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks for your whole team being here. We're going to close the public hearing at this point. Thanks.
So Brad, did you ask for public input? I don't think there's any, but did you
So,
ask?
oh, I thought I had at the beginning. Is there any public input on this? Sorry.
Raise your hand if you'd like to weigh in. Yep, nope, just thought we'd check.
Okay, good. Thank you. Next item is going to be 7678 Drew Street. Is the applicant here?
Yes, that was the other phone number, right, Mary?
That is, yes, 863 number.
Yep.
George and Dorothy Como.
Yep. So George and Dorothy, you were able to speak to us.
Are you both on the same phone number? Is that?
You're going to need to unmute.
Yeah, I just pinged them to unmute.
Okay, so.
Hello, we're here.
The Comos
Okay.
are here.
Good. So
Great.
it's George and Dorothy, am I right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth and whole truth under pain and penalty of perjury?
we do.
I do.
I
Okay.
do. We do.
So this is, seems fairly straightforward that you're expanding within the existing footprint of the existing house. All right,
Exactly, the basement.
okay. And you've got some open permits, but that's part of, I guess, Scott's got the plan going. And I don't think there's any exterior changes required. The parking, there's a parking waiver requirement. Is that, am I understanding that right? Is this
They are
Exactly.
requesting a one-space parking waiver, Brad.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to explain? So this is a duplex right now? All right.
Yes, it is. We have a tenant that has no car and hasn't had a car. He's been with us for 8.5 years. And we have one car. So right now, we have parking for 3 cars and only one being used. In fact, we offer our neighbors parking, off-street parking during winter parking bans.
Yeah. No. And that was the thing. This was originally permitted for 4 spaces, that what I was reading. But there are only 3 on site, so one parking space waiver seems fairly reasonable there. And I think that was the only real question on the application. You've got your own building permit issues to deal with if you expand in there in the basement. There's a habitable space, but that's beyond our jurisdiction.
Right, right. This is the first step. We need this, this waiver of that parking restriction.
Right.
For one car.
Okay. I do like the recommended conditions for approval on this one. It's fairly simple if we approve it. Any questions from the board on this application? Then we'll close the public hearing. It was great, short and sweet. I think we're okay with it. We will probably deliberate at the end of the meeting tonight on the application.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, folks.
So now we're back to 84 Chase Street. Did Colleen Hartford appear?
I don't see Colleen.
I called and got her voicemail, so I assumed the phone was in service. I thought she'd be trying to call.
Do we have to do anything to defer this to a different meeting or?
Yes. Yeah, it's a public hearing item. So you at least need to continue it. And I would suggest if you continue it, to do it to a date certain.
And what date would you have available? Scott?
The first meeting in June. Do you know what that date is, Mary?
June 7th.
All right.
Does anyone want to make a motion to defer 84 Chase Street to June 7th?
So moved.
Okay, second. Chase, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we've done that. So that is the end of our agenda.
Wow.
You don't have anything else to add?
Cruising.
Okay, well, then that's the end of our hearing, our developer review board meeting, and we'll move into deliberative.
Recordings.
And ZP 22-110, which is 325 Flynn Avenue. I move that we approve the application and adopt staff findings.
Second on this?
I'll
Chase,
second that.
Chase had his hand. Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? That's it, 5-0.
Recording stopped.
All right, on ZP 21-700, 34 Starr Farm Road. I move to adopt staff findings and conditions.
Second on this?
I'll second it for procedural reasons, but I think after I second it, the comment will only be at ZP 22. I think Chase said ZP 21.
That's right. Yeah. Is that okay? Chase, you meant 20, you said 21. It's 2200, 22-700.
Oh, is it on? Oh, interesting. On the report, it says 21.
Yeah, I think it probably is 21 because it's been kicking around long enough.
Ah.
Good eye. I think it's 21.
Just read it off the staff report.
On the report, it's 2100. On the agenda, it's 22. So
yeah.
Is that okay with you, Brooks? It stays 21.
Yeah, that's not a deal breaker for me.
Okay, good. It's good to be accurate here. Okay.
Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. 21.
Recording stopped. In progress.
ZP 22-115, which is 7678 Drew Street. I move that we approve the application and adopt staff findings.
Okay. Second, Chase. Discussion. All in favor? We're good.
Recording stopped.